Morning and welcome to the first session on GTM, where we're learning to understand how to navigate the application and starting with classification and video recording.
Right, can you please let me know if you can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
So that will be the home screen for trade compliance role that we are kind of using for this first release. Probably there could be a couple of more tabs for the second release, but this will be our current functionality. So this is home page and we have 6 tabs on it. Yeah. So the first tab is classification. So let's have a look into this tab, and I think I should probably open the test execution schedule. I will just good at maybe to talk about what tests we are performing from this tab. So the first one here, which will be used very often, is items. So these will be repository. That will be the repository of all our items. Sorry, just this is my test schedule. Repository of all our items that Product Hub has sent to GTM. So the first thing to remember here, so for any transaction to be successful, which means that an order can be created in order management and then sent to GTM for checks, and then like a positive result returned and the order processed, there should be an interface between Product Hub and GTM. That's the first thing. And the second thing, some attributes in Product Hub should be correctly populated. So these are actually 2 separate things. Firstly, there is some criteria that you need to set up in Product Hub so the GTM can see the product. That's the first step. And the second step is to make sure that also details like base tariff code and country of origin are properly set up in Product Hub, so we can it can be correctly interfaced in GTM, and GTM checks can be complete. Because if the, let's say, tariff code is missing, and we probably will look into that later, then the shipment will be put on hold. So if we go into these items, so this will open us the yeah, Afkar?
Will all items be GTM compliance checked, or is it just IVD items or just some items?
All items ship internationally. Oh, actually, and domestically as well. But for domestic checks, it probably wouldn't validate the tariff code, because like HS code, tariff code, needs only for international shipping for customs purposes. But the GTM checks will happen nevertheless, yes. So for everything.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try to open the Oracle application. Probably so I'm logging in now into the main Fusion application. So when I did my testing, I normally had both of these screens open, because I have to switch from one to another just to check this interface is working. So let me show you these 2 things that I was previously talking. So if we go here we are in main Fusion application, and we go into product management, and we're doing product information. So these we won't do that as part of business as usual. So we will have a dedicated Product Hub team who will have to set up these things properly. But I will just show you what things need to be set up in order to GTM to work. So if we go here and we do manage items, so we can check one of the examples, just one random item. And so that's how search in Oracle works. So basically, if you put like FID or AC number for IVD products, this should be giving you the search results. So this will gives us all the results BC0049. As you can see, we have different SKU variations of this in bulk, for research use only, more bulks here. So, and then for European Union, they have a separate SKU, but we can check just, I don't know if there is any. Let's check this one, for example. If you can see here, this is organization. With 3 zeros, this is master org. So not, it's just for, how you would say, for setting up items. So we do not transact on items from 000 org. These are already 230 is Burlingame, 101 is Burlingame finished goods. So these are actual organizations who will have transactions. 3 zeros is a master org where we set up all the data. So I will log into this product in master org. The first thing to check, so for GTM, to see, let's say we want to make sure that GTM can see this product. Let's say it's a new product we are just publishing. So to make sure GTM can see it, we need to go into categories, and we need to assign trade compliance category, this one. And it's only one transferable, so there is not much choice on the drop down. It's only one transferable, which means that the product can be shipped, transferred from one org to another, from an org to a customer. So when you assign this category, trade compliance, transferable, and you save, that makes an interface, triggers an interface to GTM. So this already, if you can see, this has been done on the 10th of October. So if we now go to, so our item is this one. So if we go into GTM now and put this into search and do search, we can see these items here. So again, it gives you everything that starts with it, but this, the first one is our particular item for 0049 EU version of it. So the second question here, okay, GTM can see an item. Let's say a transaction comes and the shipment is from the United States to Germany. So we do, it's an international shipment, so customs clearance will be happening. So we do need country of origin and HS code for this item. So this is the second thing that needs to be set up in Product Hub. If we go into specifications tab here, and then goods in and out, and scroll down to shipping. You can see shipping here. So we need to set up base HS code, which we decided it will be EU code at the moment, and it will be UK code after the 1st of January. And then we need to set up country of origin, so which is from the drop down.
Where do you get the base HS code value from?
So this is work for trade compliance department. So we assign this based on tariff schedule. So it's an off-system activity. That's why there is no drop down. So it's not a basic choice from the list. You need to assess the product. You need to understand what the product is. And then with these characteristics, you go to your tariff schedule, which is a very thick book. I do remember times when it was a book. Now it's, of course, online. And you make your choice from there.
Was that an attribute put against an item which then came here, or is that a value you need to add into items from the front end, coming in and doing it here?
So the process agreed for the future, because as we discussed, this is work for trade compliance department, so not anyone can just decide on tariff code. Product Hub team will be sending out templates to us saying we want to publish a new product, and it is this item 49 EU, and it is antibody of this kind, it's finished goods, and probably some other information they can provide us with the scientific data, which is also a tab here, like host species, purification technique, So all this information help us, clonality, monoclonal, recombinant fragment. So all this scientific information will help us to determine tariff code. And then once we receive this template from Product Hub team, we will have to help them with filling basically the template, and they will copy data from that template into here. So they're not going to make decisions on this, but they will maintain this data. So base, tariff code, and country of origin. So these two things in Product Hub that are really important for GTM to work. Categories, trade compliance category, and specifications, base HS code and country of origin. So if we go here into GTM, we've already checked that item has been interfaced. And if we log into, click on this item itself, and we go to trade details tab, here you can see that we've got the tariff classification. So, and that's where DACAR data feed comes into play. So we populate, we make a decision on this tariff code based on UK tariff schedule. So we decided that it is 300215000, and we saved it. Once the product is interfaced to GTM, it is automatically get connected to DACAR classification database. Because we do business in several countries, as you can see from here, Australia, Canada, China, Europe at the moment, Japan, Singapore, and United States. So they all will have first 6 digits will be the same, 300215, as we can see here, because it's harmonized schedule convention across multiple countries, almost all the countries in the world. So the first 6 digits like that will be the same as in Canada, in United States, in Japan, but then the last 4 digits will be country dependent, so it can be different. So, and here this will be assigned automatically by DACAR. So we just need to provide them the code, and then we link this code to the tariff schedules. So they hold tariff schedules in their database, and we determine which code it will be for Australia, for Canada, China, and if we can see it's different, and sometimes it's a different even number of digits. Yeah, so it's 10, sometimes it's 8, like for Japan, and for Singapore is even, I don't know how many. 8, and this one is 9 then, yeah, and then this one is 10, so it's a different number of digits. So this is our, what else is here? If we click on remarks, normally we see this data also comes from, this is basically Product Hub interface and data that is important for trade compliance, daily operations, and just things that we need to know. Because if you can see in Product Hub, there are so many different tabs, and like even for scientific data, lots of fields to fill in, and then you have asset overview, where different additional attributes. So it is very detailed, Product Hub, but we picked out a few attributes that will help us to perform trade compliance tasks, to do our operation. So we don't need to log into Product Hub. We can see information here. So for this product, we can see that we have the base tariff code, then unit of measure, clonality, host species, if it's purified or not, it is size, then clone ID, which is relevant for IVD products, and then it will have medical device compliant, and then country of origin. So basically this is our page with reference information. Right, so what else to talk about? So what we can do if we do new query, so I will take you back to the home page. So if we are on the home page, if we log into classification and we click items, we can search for a particular item like we've done just now. So I basically put in the code I want to find, and then you do search. You can also search for every item that we have at the moment. So if you just leave everything empty and press search here, it gives you everything, and you can see it is 1,000 records at the moment in UAT environment. So will be much more, of course, when we go live, when it's, but it's 1,000 here. So you can just basically scroll down. These are all products that have been interfaced into GTM. So if I do like all, it will open up the whole list of products. And then we can go into each particular item once it opens up. So, and then you see your items and you can check. Also, actions button is very useful. So if you tick here, and if you want to perform a certain action for a certain item, you can click here, you can click actions, and there's lots of different things here. You can update product classification, tariff eligibility screening. So these, some of these things come up in our test script. So probably we will have to perform some kind of test. Right. So let's check if they have everything set up for this, for example. If we go here, we go trade details. And you can see, yes, default country of origin, sent from product hub, and all the classification assigned. So if there is an order comes for this product, it won't fail classification checks, because the country of origin is here and all the classification is here. So DACAR will check and GTM will check and won't return any mistake or any error. Charlene, are you following?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Just don't, just if you have any questions, just interrupt me at any point.
Yeah.
So this bit is for the country segment of what we're looking for, to say, okay, you're an allowed country because we've got it here. So for example.
So why we set up it, so how DACAR work, we have to pay, so they provide the classification tool, software, and you have to pay for each single country. So we could have chosen more countries. It's not like all the what DACAR provides, these 7. They can provide you any country in the world. They hold the database is huge, but you have to pay separately for each single line of your basically request. So why we chose these countries, it's where we have APCAM entities of some sort. Sometimes it's just like in Canada, it's a non-resident entity, so we don't have an actual office there, but we act as an importer of record for shipments in Canada, and that's why that is our duty to classify goods for customs. So basically this choice is where we do business and where we are responsible for clearance. And if we open office in Taiwan tomorrow, we will have to purchase an additional line of tariff schedule from DACAR. For all other shipments, the classification will work in a way that we only export, we only ship internationally from our locations, from our offices. And that's why if we ship from Canada or we ship from China to United States, so the code is there. So we need to cover our business model. So where we do business, in which countries we hold entities, we have goods. So that's why we made this choice of that many. And for United States, we have 2 because they wanted to be, and they separated. So like EU schedule is export, import, doesn't matter. So you can use the same one. In the United States, import schedule is HTS US and export schedule is Schedule B. So these both bottom 2 are both for United States. Though like this is for export, this is for import used. But we had to buy both. Extra costs for us.
So the Descartes will update address code regularly.
So what they do, they do not decide for us which code we have to use. So like here on the base HS code, it is our decision. So we classify the goods and we put it here, we save it. And then when we go into GTM, there is a special activity of creating a classification template. So basically, I provided this. Let me show you actually that file as well. For this release, thanks God, there are not that many codes because none of these offices that we go live with, Burlingame and Eugene, they don't do biochemicals. So the Burlingame is only antibodies. So this was a dream of trade compliance professional. They have one tariff code for everything, which is like amazing. And Eugene were not too bad at all until recently, when in October, I think, they added a few biochemicals. So I will have to actually add a few templates for biochemicals. But before that, it was like literally 5 tariff codes that we were going to use. And I'm just bringing this spreadsheet here. So what I've done, so it is part of the pre-set up activity. So IBM asked me to provide this mapping of codes to countries. So let's say we have, can you still share my, see my screen on sharing? Yep. Yeah, so this is Excel spreadsheet. So this is the code that I've just shown you, and it is EU harmonized schedule, which is our product hub code. Yeah, the first column is that what we will be putting in product hub. And then IBM asked me to provide mapping for all these countries mentioned on here. So Australia, Canada, China, EU, Japan. So basically they asked me to provide all this information. And I've done it on this spreadsheet, and we had like 5 before. So I had to do it, what's it, a manual activity more or less. So you have to decide on each code for each country, but then you create a template. So this line eventually is a template in GTM. So IBM created a template based on this information. So there is another template of this line for this line, another template for this line, another for this and this. And as I said recently, on November, they vetted out a few biochemicals. So I had to go and do this as well, which is, again, each of these lines will have to be converted into GTM template. So the items codes will be assigned. Once you put this as a base code, all these getting assigned automatically. And then what Descartes do, so none of this activity Descartes provides, so they don't make decisions on anything of these. The only thing they do is they provide maintenance. So let's say tomorrow China decides that we are changing tariff schedule, and this code will be not like that anymore, but it will be, I don't know, 90, let's say. They change it, and Descartes has live connection to the change to tariff schedules of different countries. So if they change it to this overnight, we have daily overnight updates. So if there is any change in tariff schedules during the day in China, in Australia, in Singapore, so they are monitoring this for us. And if there is any change, they apply it automatically. So basically their system will understand, like, this code is not valid anymore. They changed the digit, and it's now 0. So we will come tomorrow, and our mapping has been automatically updated. So they monitor the codes. If any of these codes become outdated or changes to a different one, so they will let us know. They will provide us an update. So we don't have to do, because currently what we do, we assign the codes, but for us to see if there is any change, we basically have to go again manually on I don't know what frequency it has to be, but we have to manually check. So if there was a change in Australia tariff code last week, I wouldn't know about it until I check manually. With Descartes data feed, we don't have to do it. Once we assign the correct codes, all the maintenance will be performed by them. So we don't need to worry that we're coming tomorrow and we're shipping goods to Australia or to China and the code has changed and we don't know about it. So Descartes will provide maintenance for us.
That's good that the ongoing codes you don't have to worry about. How do you get the initial value of the code?
That's a very time-consuming, boring activity. But the good thing is that you set it up once, so it's a pre-configuration. So you set it up once, and then Descartes will maintain it for you. So it's not like every month or every week we have to do it, but for every new product, we have to manually make a decision on each of these. And then it's basically, all the schedules are published online, or there is a tool inbuilt in GTM itself, but it's more or less the same. So there is no service for us that someone will do it for us. We will have to do it. We are making decisions because eventually the company is responsible for the codes we use. No one else can make this decision for us.
Okay. So if there was a new product, so on the very bottom, organic chemicals, heterocyclic. If there was a new heterocyclic product with nitrogen, not oxygen, then
yeah,
how do we know what the value for that would be? Or do you have a method?
So if we have a new biochemical which falls into this category, we know it's a heterocyclic compound with oxygen. So we basically decide, okay, for this biochemical, tariff code UK will be this. Then it's easy. So if any new product has one of these, let's say we are adding a new antibody tomorrow, which we do like a lot. Yeah, we do like hundreds of antibodies each month adding. But it won't have any extra work for trade compliance. We already have antibody template defined. You just save it up as, you just input this data into Product Hub, save it, and then based on this template, all the tariff codes will be assigned in GTM. So a bit more work when a new product comes with a new tariff code. Let's say something completely new that we haven't done before. I don't know, we want probably to sell live rabbits tomorrow. So we have never sold live rabbits, but we want to. So we will have to define a new tariff code and create a new template. So we will find on the UK tariff schedule what is the code for a rabbit, and then we will assign the code basically. We have to look into each tariff schedule of each country, but this is a normal activity for us. So Shaolin is very familiar with this, and anyone in trade compliance, that's what we do. So this is our normal.
Right.
So how often do you actually get new ones?
Hey.
Oh God, Kevin!
Kevin, it's frightened us.
Hello.
I like to jump out at people. Hello. So how often do you actually get new harmonization codes? Like,
oh, it depends. So because we are publishing something between 500 to 3,000 products a month.
oh wow, okay.
So the good thing about it, that mainly these are antibodies or reagents, which is first two lines.
Right, okay.
So like 90% of them will fall into this. And for the rest 10%, we have to do this activity.
Okay.
And then again, you do it at least once, and then at least Descartes will maintain. It's not like every day you have to come back to it. And yeah, it is some. I mean, these took me like 2 days to do.
Oh well, okay.
For this 18, but we don't have that many very often. So it is gradual. Probably you will have 1 or 2 or 3. Even if you have 18, you can spend your day on that. But then this is set up for a very long time. We load it into GTM, and Descartes provide maintenance of this. So there isn't much for us to do there. So this will be really helpful, really helpful.
Okay, cool.
Right, so, and this is the beginning. So these are codes for Eugene and Burlingame. Once we go second release, distribution centers, this list will go into hundreds, which I'm very much looking forward to. But then, yeah, so what we can do, yeah. Okay, so I'm closing this. Hopefully that was clear. Right, anything else on the items? At what point, Kevin, you joined? Do you have any questions or?
You're mute.
Sorry, I'm fine. What I'll do anyway, I missed the first 20 minutes, so I'll watch the video anyway.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay.
Right. So probably Shaolin, if you can have a look tomorrow morning, because we do have another session, but it's evening your time, so you will have a day tomorrow. So you know the tests that I sent you, the test scripts that we are going to perform. At least you can check some of them which are related to classification, and maybe just click around and see. And you know the interface of the information from Product Hub into GTM, so there is a test on that. So that kind of brings you closer to the actual test execution for UAT. And if you have any questions, you can ask me tomorrow then about it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So there is this tool which I actually haven't used because we already had this information before, but in the future I can see this as being used as well. So I am in classification. So we check the first tab items, which holds all our items. And then if we go classification research, we actually, I don't remember when trying it. Let's try how it works. I assume this is for if you want to classify new products. So lookup criteria, product classification type. So if you leave normally in this application, if you have some searching criteria, you will be putting it into different places if you know. If you don't know or you want to see everything, leave everything empty and just click search. It will give you the full list of results. So now we are trying to do the classification. Let's say HTS US. We want to classify for HTS US. We are finding the code and description is antibody and the language is English. I don't know, whether you try Chinese? Chinese traditional, Chinese simplified. Let's do simplified. Which one is it? Traditional Shaolin or which one?
Simplified.
Oh, simplified. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what is in traditional then, if that is simplified. I don't think he wants me to. Okay, if I choose Chinese here, I need to put description in Chinese, I believe then. Okay, let's do English. So we do search, we do HTS US, we want to classify, description is language is English. I don't know what does it. Yeah, here you go. So you can do search from here. It is connection to tariff schedules. So you can access the same information by going just Googling online, US tariff schedule, Australia tariff schedule, China tariff schedule. But they also collected all this information here, and it suggests you the. So basically, they're saying for an antibody, that will be the code for US. So it's a nice little tool to have in addition to everything else. None of this makes decisions for us. So the overall responsibility for classifying products correctly is with trade compliance, but this is an extra tool that can be used for that purpose. And I think that is all basic information for classification. We will probably have to go back for other bits if I remember them once we go through different other tabs tomorrow and next day and next day. And Shaolin, if you can just check and if you have any questions, so we can pick it up tomorrow from classification, and tomorrow we will look into restricted party screening, if that's okay.
Okay.
So we need to do we need to let you go now? Your bus is soon.
Yeah, in 4 minutes.
Okay, then. Shaolin, we'll see you tomorrow. And so I will stop sharing my screen.
Okay, see you.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a nice evening.
Bye, Charlene.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry.
I'm going to stop the recording at this point because I think is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
I think I just